Good afternoon, this is Media Center Ukraine, Odesa. We continue for today, and our current briefing is dedicated to the results of the 2023 harvest. Our speaker is Alla Stoyanova, Director of the Department of Agrarian Policy, Food and Land Relations of the Odessa Regional Military Administration. Ms. Stoyanova, the floor is yours. Good afternoon. First of all, I would like to thank the armed forces of Ukraine for having this possibility to speak about results of the 2023 harvest. 2023 has become a year of strength and invincibility. Agrarians of Odessa faced a number of challenges, like almost all costs increased by 50%, and at the same time all revenue from the sale of products decreased by 50%. We have high prices for fertilizers and pesticides, and unfortunately we have the blockade of exports and shelling of infrastructure. Elevators, grain hangars, terminal tanks with Ukrainian grain, located hundreds of kilometers from the front line, became the target of enemy missiles. But this war will not be won by calibers or shaheds. It will be won by our people, the most invincible and unbreakable. The grain destroyed in Ismail as a result of the Russian attack on the 2nd of August could feed almost 66 million people during one day, according to the United Nations. However, the destruction of the crop is not only by the hands of occupiers, but also the result of negative processes. According to the State Emergency Service of Ukraine, 31 fires were recorded in the Odessa region on the 6th of August, 5 in the city of Odessa and 26 in the region. 20 were because of the burn of dry vegetation. And you can imagine the feelings of a farmer who sowed under shelling and harvested and during air raid alert, but lost the whole harvest in an instant due to someone's negligence. So people should follow elementary fire safety rules. Because of, for example, trying to destroy the dried plants. So we went against smoking during such activities. According to Article 77.1 of the Code of Ukraine, administrative offenses for the destruction or damage of forest massives, fines are envisaged, and compliance with the fire safety regulations is a guarantee for the preservation of the crop from fire. The situation in the country is dire even without this. During the harvest period, the war goes on, the enemy rages and continues to destroy everything around. It is customary to say that everything will be settled by the battlefield. So on the agricultural field, everything is decided by the harvest. Odessa was the first in Ukraine to finish harvesting early grain crops. The main results of the collection of the harvesting campaign 2023 is that there will be no hunger and there will be bread in every house. Harvesting is almost over, and we are proud of our results. As for gross harvest, we have exceeded 3 million tons, including more than 2 million tons of wheat with a yield of 30 tons per hectare. We have collected 800,000 tons of winter barley with a yield of 32 tons per hectare. 440,000 tons of rapeseed were threshed at a yield of 20 tons per hectare, which is almost 30% more than during the last year. We have also harvested 444 tons of rye, 30,000 tons of peas, and 2.2 thousand tons of oats have been threshed. We are waiting for another 800 tons of corn to reach our projected 4 million tons of grain by the end of the year. As for early grain, the first place is occupied by the Balgorod-Dnestrovsky Rayon, where they have collected 490,000 tons of grain. The second place, almost without a big difference, is Podilsky Rayon. They have threshed 410,000 tons. The third place was taken by Bolgrad and Berezov rayons with almost identical threshing figures of 350 and 335,000 tons in accordance. And the latest placed are Odesa and Ismail rayons, 260 and 160,000 tons of threshed of Ukrainian grain accordingly. Podilsky and Belgorod-Dnestrovsky district took the first places in terms of yield, reaching 40 tons per hectare each. The weakest productivity is in the Ismail region, where it is 22 tons per hectare. But at the same time, taking into account the most severe climatic changes, they still got harvest. Now we're talking about the dry numbers of the harvesting campaign. But I want to focus on one more thing. We have managed to harvest informable faith in victory and resistance to various challenges. Our task is not only to harvest, but also to preserve, and there is even the more difficult task to export these products. As part of international support, agricultural producers of the region received about 1,500 polyethylene sleeves for field storage of grain from FAO of the UN, each with a capacity of 200 tons. Thanks to this support, there were enough places to store the crop, which is especially important in the conditions of the martial law. Export: Ukraine is a guarantor of food security in many countries of the world, thanks to traditionally powerful food exports. Ukraine's contribution to the world food market before the war was equivalent to providing food for about 400 million people. Security of Black Sea ports is synonymous to peace and stability of the world food market. Despite the challenges of the war, 3.7 million tons of grain and legumes were exported from Ukraine in June this year. Including 2.2 and 1.4 million tons of corn and wheat, respectively. In addition, since the beginning of 2022-2023, Ukraine exported 154,000 tons of flour, which is already a product with added value. And comparing to 2021-2022, it was this indicator was at the level of 70,000 tons. From the beginning of the grain agreement in 2022 to June 30, 2023, Ukraine exported 49 million tons of grain and legumes, including almost 20 million tons of our Ukrainian wheat that feeds the world. Food security is the main priority and part of the Ukrainian peace formula, which is mentioned by our president. Agrarian sector is a reliable home front working for victory. Now there is strategic tasks to develop the regional economy, the activities of agricultural enterprises, and to get ready to autumn sowing campaign. Next, I draw the attention of agrarians to the existing possibilities of receiving aid for autumn sowing. International aid like USAID Agra opens a window of opportunity for Odesa farmers. The agriculture resilience initiative, Agri-Ukraine program, is there to strengthen agribusiness and strengthen global food security. Interested agricultural producers should submit an application to the state agrarian register to participate in the this program USAID Agro 2023. Follow the our Viber group Agrarian Odesa for more details. It is it is not difficult to register. You need to log in to the office in the State Agrarian Register and in the available program section to find open the program. I would also like to remind you about the stage grant program within the e-Robota project. Greenhouses, gardens, and processes in these directions can get from 400,000 hryvnias to 8 million. If you have any questions or need professional advice, contact our department. Specialists ready to provide all the support. Also, I would like to remind that more than 17,000 people work in the agricultural sector every year, and this number doubles during the high season. It is very important for us to take care about human resources for the next sowing campaign. The criteria: absence of salary tax, arrears, availability of cultivated agricultural land on the area of perennial plantings and berries of at least 10 hectares, availability of at least 15 employees, availability of contracts for the production of products, and availability of permits, licenses, certificates for the implementation of the relevant type of activity, etc. You can find more information on our website and in our Viber group. Obtaining the status of critically important enterprise will allow to remove the pressing issue of reservations for the agricultural sector. There are many conflicts on farms, but whom to put behind the wheel of a tractor or combine harvester is a very painful and urgent question. It takes years to train a combine, harvester, or tractor operator, and we have ahead of us the next marketing year. The second news after the harvest in Odesa this year, the last day of harvesting campaign will become the first day of the sowing campaign for the next year's harvest. The sowing campaign for the harvest 2022 has started. They have started to sow with speed. Adrian Rogers, American writer, said, "Your character is the harvest of your habits." Unbreakable, hardworking, and sincerely loving their native land, the farmers of Odesa show that the character of farmers is invincible. The heroic efforts of our agricultural producers made it possible to preserve Ukrainian agricultural production and Ukraine's global role as a guarantor of food security and successful contact with the harvest. We are strong, we are on our land, and we are getting ready. We will be victorious, and glory to Ukraine, glory to heroes. Thank you very much for your report. I have not received any questions from journalists. They were watching us online. Thank you for the information you shared, and the next briefing will be at 3 p.m. We will discuss insurance during the war. We had to postpone this briefing from noon today. Please stay tuned.